Hello everyone, myself Dr. Dhiren Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Sciences, KITE, Ghaziabad. Today presentation topic is laser part 1. In this part, we will discuss about introduction of laser, absorption of radiation, spontaneous emission of radiation, stimulated emission of radiation and Einstein's coefficients. Now, introduction of laser. As we know, the word laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser is a device to produce a strong, monochromatic, collimated and highly coherent beam of light. So these are the basic characteristics of laser light. All lasers works on the concept of stimulated emission that first time predicted by Albert Einstein in year 1917. And the world first laser, which is known as ruby laser, made by T.H. Memon et al. In year 1960. Now, absorption of radiation. To understand this concept, let us consider two energy states of an atom with energies E1 and E2. E1 is known as ground energy state and E2 is known as higher energy state. In this system, when atom is in ground state, an atom is exposed to a photon of energy h nu. So atom absorb this photon and goes to normal state to higher state. So this phenomena is known as absorption of radiation. And most important point is that energy of photon is equal to difference of energy of two states, that is h nu is equal to E2 minus E1. So nu can be written as E2 minus E1 divided by h. Now, spontaneous emission of radiation. As we know that higher state is unstable state, now atom is in higher state. So order of higher state level is 10 to power minus 8 second. After this time period, this atom comes down to lower state and emitting a photon of energy h nu, and h nu is equal to E2 minus E1. So this process is known as spontaneous emission of radiation. And one most important point is also that spontaneous emission is incoherent and has broad spectrum. Now, stimulated emission of radiation. As we know that average lifetime of an atom in excited state is very short, that is the order of 10 to power minus 8 second. In this process, when atom is in excited state, during this interval of time, a photon of energy h nu is incident on the system. During the interaction between the incident photon and atom which is in higher state, and after this interaction, this atom comes down to the ground state, and now we have two photons, and second photon is identical to the incident photons. These two photons have same frequency, same wavelength, and they are also traveling in same directions. So we can say that stimulated emission of radiation is a coherent radiation and has single wavelength. Now, difference between spontaneous and stimulated emission. So we can easily understand from this chart that all lasers works on the concept of stimulated emission. As from this chart, spontaneous emission has a broad spectrum, but stimulated emission has monochromatic radiation, that is single wavelength. Spontaneous emission is incoherent radiation, but stimulated emission has coherent radiation. Spontaneous emission is less intense, but stimulated emission has highly intense. Spontaneous emission has less directionality and more angular spread, but stimulated emission has high directionality and less angular spread. Now the topic is Einstein coefficient. As we know that there are three basic processes. One is absorption of radiation, second is spontaneous emission, third is stimulated emission. Einstein gave the coefficient for three process. So first, Einstein coefficient for absorption of radiation. So according to Einstein, probability 1 to 2, here 1 indicate the state 1 and 2 indicate the higher state, is directly proportional to the energy density of incident radiation. So Einstein used the coefficient B12. B12 is known as Einstein coefficient of absorption. So this equation can be written as P12 is equal to B12 U nu. Now Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission of radiation. As we know that spontaneous emission is a natural emission. In this process, atom comes down from higher state to lower state without any forced or induced. So probability of spontaneous emission is equal to only coefficient of Einstein, that is A21. So equation can be written as probability 2 to 1 is equal to A21, equation number 2. So we can clearly understand here कि in absorption case energy density has a role, but in case of spontaneous emission that is independent of energy density. Now Einstein coefficient for stimulated emission of radiation. As we know that probability of stimulated emission from transition from state 2 to 1 is directly proportional to the energy density in the stimulating case. So we can write here probability 2 to 1 is directly proportional to U nu. So Einstein used a coefficient for stimulated process, that is B21. So equation becomes P21 is equal to B21 U nu. So B21 is known as Einstein coefficient of stimulated emission of radiation. As we know that there are total two processes of emission. One is spontaneous emission, number two is stimulated emission. So total probability for an atom in state 2 to drop to the lower state 1 can be written as P21 is equal to probability of spontaneous plus probability of stimulated emission. So we can write here equation P21 is equal to A21, that is the coefficient of Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission, plus B21 U nu, which is the equation for stimulated emission. Now the relation between Einstein's coefficient. Let us assume that N1 and N2 be the number of atoms at any instant in state 1, that is ground state, and 2, that is known as higher state. So the probability of absorption transition for number of atoms from state 1 to 2 per unit time is given by, so N1 multiplied by P12. So we can write here N1 B12 U nu. Same as we know N2 is the number of atoms in higher state. So total probability of emission transition for number of atoms from state 2 to state 1 per unit time is given by N2 P21 is equal to N2 multiplied in this equation. So equation, now we have equation 5th and equation 6th. At equilibrium, the rate of absorption must be equal to the rate of emission. So we can write here N1 P1 is equal to N2 P2 and put the values of equation 5th and 6th here. So we can written here N1 B12 U nu is equal to N2 in bracket A21 plus B21 U nu. After solving this equation for U nu, we can write here U nu is equal to A21 N2 upon B12 N1 minus B21 N2. Dividing the numerator and denominator by the term B21 N2, we can get this term U nu is equal to this term, this equation A21 upon B21 in bracket 1 upon B12 upon B21 minus 1. That is equation number 8. As we know from Planck's radiation law, the energy density is given as U nu is equal to 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube in bracket 1 upon e to power h nu upon kt minus 1. So comparing both equation number 8 and 9, equation number 8 as given by according to Albert Einstein, and equation number 9 indicate the Planck's radiation law. Both are for incident energy. So comparing these equations, we get the term A21 upon B21 is equal to 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube. According to this relation, we have get the ratio of Einstein coefficient of spontaneous emission to the Einstein coefficient of stimulated emission, that is directly proportional to the nu cube. Nu is the frequency of incident radiation. So as we know from this relation, or can conclude कि if we increase the frequency of incident radiation, so probability of spontaneous emission will be increased. And this relation tell that B12 is equal to B21, that Einstein coefficient of absorption is equal to Einstein coefficient of stimulated emission. Thank you.